Amplifying the human voice is one of the most common applications of audio technology. Whether it's a board meeting or a rock concert, the goal is the same: to reproduce the voice clearly. I'd like to present a technique that will give you the best results. On any handheld microphone, there are three main parts to be aware of. The windscreen will usually contain some kind of foam inside of it to prevent popping from what we call plosives. When you say a B, P, or T, there is a burst of air that comes from your mouth. Without the windscreen, this burst would cause a loud boom in the sound system, which would be unpleasant and potentially harmful to the system. This is what separates a vocal mic from a microphone intended for instruments like the SM57, although you can often purchase windscreens if you would like to use those for vocals. The handle is obviously where the user is expected to hold the microphone. On the handle, just under the windscreen, is a small band of text that shows the company and model of the microphone. Finally, at the bottom of the microphone, we have the connector where you connect your microphone cable. First off, hold the microphone firmly with one hand in the center of the handle. It is important that you do not hold too low because you may accidentally squeeze the locking mechanism on the microphone cable and disconnect the mic. It is also important that you don't hold the mic too high because that will have a negative impact on the sound, which we will discuss in a minute. A good way to check yourself is that you should be able to read the name of the brand and model on the band under the windscreen while you are holding it. Next, you need to be sure to get the mic close enough to your mouth to give a good, solid level to the sound engineer. Now, notice on the meters that as I pull the mic away, the signal drops off very quickly. Test, test, test. So ideally, you want the mic to be only an inch or two from your mouth, and even if you are going to sing really loud, you don't need to back off more than 8 to 12 inches. The mic should be angled upward, roughly 45 degrees. Pretend you are brushing the back side of your two front teeth, and that should give you a good position. Not only does this position provide a good sound, it will also allow your audience to see your face during your performance. At this point, you've been hearing my voice loud and clear, and you may be tempted to speak or sing quieter, assuming that the microphone will do all the work. This is not the case. You should still speak clearly and project into the microphone just as you would if you were speaking to a group of people in a small room without amplification. The microphone is responsible for helping your sound get to the audience, not for creating that sound for you. In the past few years, it has become fashionable for people to grasp the windscreen of the microphone while performing. The origins of this technique come from the history of hip-hop, where it serves a creative purpose, but this technique is not desirable in most other situations. I am currently holding the microphone as it was designed to be used. Now listen to my voice once I've wrapped my hand around the windscreen. We call this cupping the mic, and as you can see, it has a drastic effect on the tone and intelligibility of my voice. If you look at the input levels, you'll see another issue. When I hold the microphone normally, this is what my level looks like. When I cup the mic, however, you can see that the level goes up considerably. This will negatively impact the processing and musical balance that the engineer has set up for you. Additionally, this technique essentially makes the microphone omnidirectional, meaning that it picks up sound from all sides equally. In a live performance, this increases the chances of feedback. There are some cases where this is appropriate, though. The tone that you get from this technique can be useful for hip-hop and metal vocals, as well as beatboxing. However, using this technique in pop and rock is much less beneficial, especially when there are multiple vocalists. Ultimately, the goal is for the microphone to transmit your sound the way you want to be heard. Practicing appropriate mic technique will convey your performance effectively to your audience.